What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about 3D Mario for the umpteenth time. I don't even remember, honestly. And this is also going to talk about Donkey Kong as well, because I've seen a lot of really strange takes online when it comes to wanting 3D Mario. Because let's be honest, we have Donkey Kong Bananza. It's an amazing game, and it's still my favorite game of all time. I'm genuinely serious when I say that, because I just love Donkey Kong Bananza so much. Fan of the DLC stuff that they keep promoting every single time and not promoting. K&K Rool is back, but hey, you know, Bananza's still an amazing game. It's my favorite game of all time. Like, honestly, every time I go back to it, I just have a fun time. It's just that 3D platforming game for me. But there's always been a question for the fans of only Mario. Did Donkey Kong Bananza replace 3D Mario? Yes and no. I think saying Bananza replaced 3D Mario is a bit of an over-exaggeration, but I also do understand the comments I see from this. I can kind of understand both sides of the discussion, and today we're going to be talking about that today and why I don't think Donkey Kong Bananza replaced 3D Mario like what some are saying. So let's just go in and talk about it. So here's the real question: why did 3D Donkey Kong happen over 3D Mario on their brand new console? Well, Mario Kart was coming out. Releasing two big Mario series so close to each other, I don't know, you're kind of just, I don't know, it would just cannibalize its sales. And sure, maybe it doesn't matter for you, but realistically, Mario Kart was going to be the big Mario game for that year. So, 3D Mario in the same year, I don't know, it just wasn't very likely, honestly. You'd rather separate, for Mario Kart and 3D Mario, you need to sort of separate them out so you have room, because if those came out, aside from like other mainline Mario games, you would be mostly having spin-offs. So, yeah, that's why I feel like we got Mario Kart, and that's why we got Donkey Kong Bananza, you know, a 3D platformer that's, you know, basically the Mario Odyssey sequel we didn't expect. You know, it still has the similar UI as a concept, almost similar, but, you know, different mechanics and stuff. Like, it's still a 3D platformer, even if it is mostly focused on combat. It's still a 3D platformer at the end of the day, just without the plumber, basically. So, yeah. Now, here's the question I see when it comes to Bananza, if it replaced 3D Mario. I think the over-exaggeration is really weird, because I've seen some discussions that the folks who worked on Mario Odyssey, not all of them were involved in Donkey Kong Bananza. So this means that there could be some things that Donkey Kong finally has a brand new team, or they're most likely gonna be, or they most likely like co-developed it. Basically, they're working on Bananza and also the next 3D Mario game, and they just sort of switch between. So if you know what I mean when it comes to game development. Game development nowadays has been shifting and being very different nowadays. So that's why I feel like we got, you know, Bananza, and they're just like, they co-develop it because, you know, the next 3D Mario game is going to be sort of different than what we're used to. And I want to talk about that in a bit, but like I said, not everyone everyone who was involved in Odyssey, not all of them were involved in Donkey Kong Bananza. So maybe Donkey Kong will finally have a new team, basically, or like I said, co-developed. That's just what it feels like, honestly. I'm going with the latter, personally, because I'm not sure if they hire new... Like I said, DK is definitely, hopefully this time, here to stay and not get crazy. Like, even if he waits another decade for a game, he's always going to be back. So we don't have to worry about that anymore. Now, for 3D Mario, how's it going to affect 3D Mario? Now, listen, 3D Mario, I really thought 3D Mario was going to be in 2026, honestly, like this year, but I guess when there was leaks recently that predicted Zelda Ocarina of Time remake, Star Fox, and other stuff I don't want to mention yet, they did say 3D Mario was for 2027, and it's seeming to be more and more true as months go by, honestly. So yeah, next year, for sure, hopefully, we'll finally see the take of the next 3D Mario game. Now, what would it be like? I already discussed that in the other 3D Mario video, but, excuse me, I'll share my thoughts again of what I would personally like to see. I don't have a lot of thoughts, really, and considering that Donkey Kong Bananza is more of a sandbox playground, this makes me feel like the next 3D Mario game is going to be different than what we're used to. Now, I have seen discussion, maybe the next 3D Mario game is going for an open world feel of it, and as much as I'm neutral towards open world sometimes, I think that is the route they'll go. But since it's Nintendo and Mario, they usually like to come up with some wild ideas for the franchise, so I definitely do think it's going to be handled differently than what we're used to, you know, make it feel fresh. It has some crazy ideas that generally surprise all of us, honestly. Some jaw-dropping moments, honestly, because that's what they do every time with their big Mario games. So, yeah, I just can't wait to see that, honestly. So, as much as I would be worried if 3D Mario goes open world, I'm also, like, very excited to see how it goes, honestly, because, like, it's the 3D Mario team. Like, I can't have doubt over that, honestly. Like, they make some of the banger games of all time. Like, the weakest 3D Mario game, 3D Land, by the way, in my opinion, is, like, still, like, a solid 8 out of 10. So, like, I just, like, I have faith, honestly. So, if it goes that route. And I know I've seen people comment Bowser's Fury was the 3D Mario game we got recently, but I somewhat count it because it's still a 3D Mario experience, but it's still, like, pretty short for the most part. It's, like, 3 hours long if you do a casual run, and then, like, 6-ish hours long if you're going for the full 100% requirements. So, as much as I would love to count it, I can totally see the argument if people don't want to count it. So, I don't know, it's just hard to say. And also, Mario Odyssey is, like, oh, it's gonna be 9 years old this year. Oh, God, dude. Jesus Christ. So, it's definitely fair to see people want 3D Mario. I definitely do think, I will say this. When it comes to wanting 3D Mario, it's Mario. You don't have to worry about 3D Mario and their gaps. Like, compared to other Nintendo franchise where it's hard to predict when they'll come back. Even other series that have been waiting a long time for their games, honestly. Like, 3D Mario is the last franchise I would care to get long gaps. Now, if we hit, like, 2027 and there's still no 3D Mario announcement, well, yeah, you have the right to panic at that point because it's about to be a decade since Mario Odyssey. And it's still going to be a while. It's still going to be a bit since Bowser's Fury. So, yeah. But I feel like some people don't know. 7-year gap is usually the gap between 2D Mario. I feel like people forget, like, as much as I grew up with the Wii era of Mario, like, you know, we got solid 2D platformer. We got constant 2D and 3D platformers at the time. Like, it was just 2D, 3D platformer heaven for Mario, basically, at that point. Especially in the Wii U era, for better or worse. But I feel like over time, development has been different, so I can totally see why we're not getting constant 3D Mario and 2D Marios sometimes. And in my opinion, I'd rather wait that long for a banger 3D Mario game than get constant every single time, you know, like every single year. So that's just my opinion. I know it sounds crazy to see this for some franchises, you know, but because some franchises are waiting a decade and still haven't gotten anything, but I don't know, in 3D Mario's case, I think this should be fair in my opinion. So yeah. And I definitely do think it's silly to blame something like, whoa, we got another Xenoblade game before 3D Mario. Like, I don't know. I think that argument has been very, very silly. Xenoblade, the devs are very different, and Nintendo isn't just one team. I think it's very silly to blame a completely different franchise for the lack of 3D Mario. That, I think, is very silly in my opinion. Like, don't get me wrong, I would have done the same thing with Donkey Kong, and I probably have done it in the past, but like, I don't know, I don't blame a particular franchise. It's not like I played 90% of the main Nintendo franchises. Like, I don't know, you don't need to be, I'm not asking you to be a fan of every franchise, because there are some franchises I'm not big into, like Animal Crossing I'm not the biggest fan of, and Fire Emblem I haven't really gotten into. I tried to engage, it just wasn't for me personally, but still, don't blame completely different franchises. Like, I'm not that kind of person, so, yeah. What I'm trying to say is, Bananza did not replace 3D Mario. I just feel like they chose Donkey Kong because, well, Nintendo wanted to bring back Donkey Kong. And also, like, the last mainline Donkey Kong game that wasn't a re-release was in 2014. So, yes, DK has been waiting way longer than Mario has, in my opinion. So, yes, give Donkey Kong the time to shine, and I'm sure over time, we'll finally see the next 3D Mario game. So bet on the September Direct, basically, because I do feel like that's possible. Nintendo loves to tease a 3D Mario game, and usually they do take a while to come out, so September Direct does seem like the best chances for 3D Mario. If not, then it's gotta be the February Direct with the holiday release window. If it's not, hopefully it'll release before, I don't know, we'll see what happens. Maybe it'll be June. I don't know, we'll see what happens, honestly. I just definitely feel like it's a little exaggeration to say, because we have Donkey Kong Bonanza, we'll wait like 7 years or something for 3D Mario. No, that's not gonna happen. So, I do think 3D Mario is on the way, but we just gotta be patient, honestly. In the meantime, I'm just playing other 3D platformers, like, you know, Bubsy 4D, because why not? Yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Hopefully this video helped you out in the wait for 3D Mario. If not, I don't know what to tell you. Just keep waiting, I guess. Anyway, thanks for watching. When you think, are we gonna see the next 3D Mario game at the next Nintendo Direct? Let me know in the comments below. Later, folks.